Hey everyone, I'm going to make a quick video tutorial here on how to use the water titration or liquid titration method to microtaper off your benzodiazepine. A lot of people get stuck and they're afraid to try because this seems so overwhelming or complicated, but it's really not as hard as it seems. So the first thing that you're going to do is just get your 300 milliliters of water that you can just measure out in a standard measuring cup, and you're going to pour that into your jar. Now what I did when I was tapering to make this a little easier is I just took a piece of tape and marked a line on the jar so I knew where 300 milliliters of water was, and so I didn't have to constantly fill and transfer. It just kind of makes that part a little easier. The next thing you're going to do is just drop your pill in. Now what I have here is a vitamin because obviously I'm not tapering benzos anymore, but it's dissolving pretty quickly and Valium will dissolve pretty rapidly. Klonopin, Ativan, those are going to take a little longer, and you may have to wait 10 to 15 minutes before those break up, but they will eventually break up. Xanax, you can do this with, but I wouldn't recommend using Xanax extended release. It just doesn't quite work the same. Also, Transine or clorazepate does not mix with water, so don't use this method if you're on that medication. So as you can see, it's breaking up there, so I'm just going to give this a really good shake to create a suspension. Please don't leave me comments saying that you need to use vodka to make a solution. I'm not making a solution here, and I don't think that drinking vodka daily is a good idea for people who are withdrawing from benzodiazepines. I'm just creating a suspension. I know some people feel that you need to use a fatty substance like whole milk to create a good suspension. But honestly, if you just give it a really good shake, those particles are going to get evenly dispersed, and you're going to separate this out pretty quickly. So I wouldn't worry about it. I used water throughout my entire taper. The next part is you're going to remove or taper from your suspension. So on your first day, you're going to remove 1 milliliter of your suspension, just one. I'm going to take what I've removed with my syringe and just pour that out. And now I have what I need. The next day you'll remove 2 milliliters, and then the third day you'll remove 3, and so on until you removed all 300 and you're done with your taper. Now just to be careful and safe, you don't always have to do this, but I'm just going to give this another shake to make sure it's all evenly dispersed. And now I'm going to pour this into my separate jars because normally, especially if you're taking a shorter acting benzodiazepine, you're going to need to dose a couple times throughout the day. As you can see, this is not an exact science. I'm pretty good at this though. So I've got all 3 doses. If you feel one's kind of uneven, just pour it in. And then once you've eyeballed it and it looks pretty good, you're just going to cover up 2 of these doses and save those in the fridge for later. And in the meantime now, it's time to take your first dose for the day. There's 2 things you're going to do here, okay? The first thing is you're going to drink your first dose, okay? And then you're going to drink the rinse water out of both jars, because when you have these little particles and things, there's a little bit of residue that gets stuck on the sides, and you want to make sure you're getting your full dose. So you're just going to rinse off the sides, kind of give it a swish, make sure you've got all the particles, and drink that down. Same thing here. Rinse it off, just pour a little bit of water in there, swish it around, and drink the rinse water, and you have taken your first dose. Later on in the day, same thing. You drink down your second dose for the day, put some water in there, give it a good swish, drink down your rinse water, then same thing with your last dose. And that's it. That's microtapering. So I hope you guys found that helpful, and that this will make the process a little easier in microtapering off your benzodiazepines. I'll talk to you later.